Hi guys, sorry I'm late today on posting individuals and societies work. I thought I had this queued up. I did not, so I apologize. So on this day in history, Lewis and Clark depart in 1804. So the Lewis and Clark expedition left St. Louis, Missouri on a mission to explore the Northwest. It had not really been explored quite yet by non-natives, so this was something that was exciting, and Lewis and Clark were the men for the job. So what they were going to do is they were going to get on the Mississippi River, and the goal was to get to the Pacific Ocean. So 1 year after they left the U.S., oh, sorry. Okay, I'm reading this wrong. Sorry. So 1 year after they depart, the U.S. doubles in size with the Louisiana Purchase. TJ, Thomas Jefferson, had commissioned Lewis and Clark to lead an expedition before the negotiations had concluded. So that is a big deal too, because now they're exploring some territory that the United States technically owned. Lewis and Clark left with 43 men or 45 men, and 33 would make the entire trip. It's pretty rigorous. And they traveled up the Missouri River in a 55-foot long keel boat, and then two smaller boats. They arrived at the Pacific Ocean in 1805 on November 8th, and they were the first European explorers to accomplish the overland travel, which is important to understand. People had gone to, the coastal side, the West Coast, but they had not done it overland. In November, they were joined by a French-Canadian fur trader and his wife, Sacagawea. She was used as an interpreter. I assume that you've heard of Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea. They wintered in is present-day North Dakota before crossing Montana, where they first saw the Rocky Mountains. Let me tell you what, my sister lived in Montana for a time, and my dad worked in North Dakota, so I've been to Montana. It is a giant state, and I feel like we don't talk about that enough. So, man, crossing Montana must have been a lot. On the other side of the Continental Divide, after the Rocky Mountains, they got horses from the Shoshone and then made their way all the way across. So Lewis and Clark, lots of places in the Pacific Northwest, like Oregon, and Oregon has a school called Lewis and Clark University, so they're highly revered throughout kind of the Pacific Northwest. So your assignment today, you're going to start the chapter 29 ISN, the Golden Age of Athens. Your first today, all you'll be responsible for is the key terms, and then section 2. And then we'll build from there. Please do not Google the key terms. Please use the terms from the textbook. If you Google the terms, I will not accept it. I will push it back to you because, again, on the last ISN, several of you Googled and you came up with the wrong definition. So, take the extra time, the 1 extra minute it takes to find it in your textbook. And there will be no copying and pasting into the Google Docs or slides. Number one, I can tell. It's also, with the exception of key terms, because you're defining something, if you copy and paste into any of the other sections, that's called plagiarism, and I will push it back to you. As you get older, you will get in big trouble for that. So you need to learn now that that's not okay. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.